Ladies and gentlemen, John Cena may be in serious trouble. What we witnessed on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw wasn't just another off night. It wasn't just lazy booking. It was a full-blown creative catastrophe. From the absolute burial of Jey Uso, to the uninspired resurrection of Gunther's reign, to CM Punk delivering a nuclear-grade promo that completely dismantled John Cena's legacy. This episode felt less like a wrestling show and more like a live-action funeral for WWE's future. The atmosphere was heavy, the storytelling was non-existent, and the fans? They weren't just disappointed, they were betrayed. WWE didn't just fumble a storyline. They fumbled their entire identity. And now the future of their biggest stars is hanging by a thread. Let's start with Jey Uso. This man had one of the most organically built underdog stories WWE has told in years. He left the bloodline, carved out his own legacy, and against all odds, won the Royal Rumble in a moment that gave fans genuine chills. His WrestleMania victory over Gunther felt like the beginning of a new era, a true passing of the torch. And just when fans finally believed that WWE was investing in someone new, someone fresh, someone earned, the company took it all back. In just a few short weeks, everything they built around Jey was burned to the ground. Gunther is champion again. That's right, the same guy Jey defeated on the grandest stage is now holding the title again like nothing ever happened. Why? What was the point of that entire arc? Did WrestleMania mean anything at all? Because right now, it feels like WWE just pressed Ctrl+Z and erased months of work in one move. This wasn't just bad booking, it was a slap in the face to everyone who believed in Jey Uso. It told the fans, thanks for getting emotionally invested, but we're going back to what's safe. And what's worse is that Gunther's original title run was already losing steam. Sure, the guy can wrestle, but where was the emotion? Where was the fire? The storytelling? His reign felt like it was running on fumes long before WrestleMania. And now we're expected to sit through it all over again? WWE had options, better options. LA Knight was white hot. Drew McIntyre had just delivered a career-best year in 2024. CM Punk was literally standing in the wings. Any of them could have injected new life into the title scene. But no creative hit the panic button and handed the title back to the most predictable, least risky name in the room. It sends one loud and clear message. WWE is terrified of change. But as bad as that was, things somehow got even worse when John Cena returned. What should have been a hype moment quickly turned into one of the most tone-deaf promos of his career. Instead of rallying the fans, Cena mocked them for caring about R-Truth's return, of all things. He called them armchair warriors, completely flipping the script on the same fans who have supported him for 2 decades. This wasn't the loyal, humble face of the company. This was a bitter veteran, out of touch with the audience that made him. But just as the crowd began to sour, CM Punk's music hit, and everything changed. Punk stormed the ring and tore Cena apart in one of the rawest, most personal promos we've seen in years. He called out Cena's hypocrisy, reminded the world of their brutal history, and then dropped the line that silenced the entire arena. At Night of Champions, I'm taking back the title you stole. On paper, this should have been electric. CM Punk vs. John Cena, 2 titans of the industry, squaring off once again. But the truth? It felt hollow. We've seen this movie before. This is 2025, not 2011. What should be a legendary clash now feels like WWE clinging to the last bits of nostalgia they have left. Instead of building up new rivalries, fresh blood like LA Knight, Drew, or even Seth Rollins, they're recycling the same stories they've been telling for a decade. And even though Punk's promo was incredible, it still felt like a bandage over a rotting creative wound. It's not just about one segment anymore. It's about the entire structure crumbling underneath. The bigger issue is that this stale creative direction is hurting everyone. LA Knight, once the most over superstar in WWE, is now floating in meaningless tag matches. Drew McIntyre, after proving he could carry the company last year, hasn't even been granted a rematch. Cody Rhodes, yes, the so-called face of WWE, has been left to drift into mid-card irrelevance. There's no direction, no payoff, no fire. And the biggest question that no one in WWE seems willing to answer: where the hell is Roman Reigns? The Bloodline story ended not with a bang, but with a whisper, and now the Tribal Chief is nowhere to be found. The most dominant world champion in modern WWE history has simply vanished, and nobody seems to care. Triple H's long-term storytelling is starting to look more like a fancy excuse for no storytelling at all. Titles are being passed around with zero build-up. Factions are being thrown together without any purpose. Storylines don't connect. Characters don't evolve. Raw has stopped feeling like a coherent show and started to feel like a script generated by AI with no memory. The roster is overloaded with talent, but completely starved of vision. The result? A 3-hour show that's not just boring, it's unwatchable. Last night's Raw wasn't just a bad episode, it was a red flag. A siren. A warning sign that WWE's creative direction is spiraling into chaos. They've lost the plot, lost control of their own narrative, and worst of all, they've lost the fans' trust. Jey Uso's rise and fall was heartbreaking. Gunther's second title run already feels tired. John Cena is out of touch, and while CM Punk can still light up a mic, he can't single-handedly fix a system that's broken from the inside. So here's the real question we need to be asking. Is it time for a full WWE reboot? Is it finally time for WWE to stop relying on the same 5 faces, the same old rivalries, the same worn-out tropes, and start building something new? Should they hand the keys over to the future instead of clinging to the past? Should they finally clean house and give this talented, hungry roster the spotlight it deserves? Because one thing is for sure. What we saw last night wasn't entertainment. It was a warning. And if WWE doesn't make serious changes, and fast, the company's golden era may be over for good. Let us know in the comments. Should WWE finally hit the reset button and give wrestling fans the fresh start they've been begging for? Or is it already too late?